sight alignment or aiming. This is the process of achieving proper relationship between the target, the front sight, this one, and the rear sight should be vertically aligned. Vertical. The centered between the rear sight. The rear sight should be centered in the rear sight. When you're targeting or shooting, you're looking at the sight picture. The sight picture is the image you're going to target. So when you're looking at the sight picture, when you're ready to shoot at the target, kung mas prefer nimo ang i-close ang usa ka mata para maklaro ang picture nimo, ang target, ang center sa imong target, then you can use that. Or the other method is keep both eyes open to ease focusing and reduce eye strain. Shooting is the breath control. Breathing can move the handgun just enough to throw off your shot. If you breathe rapidly while holding the gun, there are tendencies that you may miss the shot or your target because of your breathing movement. The proper breathing helps you steady your hold and maintain proper sight picture. When you control your breath, you have to take a deep breath and exhale half of it. Then hold your breath as you squeeze the trigger. Reminder, it is not allowed holding your breath too long because it can cause tremors. Like if you're holding a gun like this, you have to inhale deeply and then release half of it, then pull the trigger. The learning to hold the firearm steady is a challenge. It is indeed, because you have to put pressure on gripping the pistol to avoid accident or miss the target. A proper grip is essential. Good hold control minimizes arc of movement. To obtain proper grip, make a V shape with your hand using your thumb and fingers of your shooting hand. This one, like this. Hold it like this. The V in between your thumb and index finger should be placed as high as possible on the back strap without risking the slide back. This one. High as possible. See? Oh, reminder, always think about the safety rules in gun safety. You always put your trigger away from, always put your fingers away from the trigger. Then, the grip, this one, after putting the V shape of your thumb finger and index finger, you have to put down your three fingers like that. Your three fingers like that. Here's my thumb, here's my index. And then, the three fingers. Your grip pressure should be straight as the rear of the handgun. Grip. Rear of the handgun. Then, support it with your right or left hand, depends on the hand you use as dominant for gripping. So I used my left hand because my dominant hand is right hand. So like that. As I use my other hand to support the grip and put more pressure on gripping the gun or the pistol. Tendency, if you don't put too much pressure, if you don't put pressure on gripping, fundamental of shooting is the stance. Part of the hold control is knowing the proper stance for balance and stability. Of course, if you don't have proper stance, there are cases that when you pull the trigger, you might lose your balance while pulling it. So it is important to know the proper stance. So, isosceles shooting position is the most basic shooting position. For this position, The legs are slightly apart with knees slightly bent. Like that. Bend. The next, arms are extended with the elbows straight, but not locked, straight. Like that. Shoulders should be at normal height, just relax your shoulders, not like this, relax. Pointed towards the forearm, pointed towards the target with two-handed grip, that's it. At an eye level. The head should be erect, not hunched, erect. Relax your shoulder, slightly bend forward, slightly bend your knees, and then point the pistol. The last but the hardest fundamentals of shooting is the trigger control. Trigger control is the method of activating the trigger to minimize movement of the sights. Abruptly clenching the trigger hand can move the gun enough to miss the target. If you abruptly pull the trigger, it might cause accident or miss the target. To avoid such, hold the gun comfortably. The proper grip, comfortably. Position your fingertip comfortably on the trigger between the first joint and the fingertip. So this is the first joint, the line here of your fingertip, and of your finger, and this is the fingertip. So when you're placing your finger on the trigger, it should be in between the line and your fingertip. Because tendency, if you put your finger on the first joint, which is the line, your grip of the pistol will be different, and the gun position will also be different.
That's all, folks.